A new expedition has arrived, Expedition 21 Remnant, and in this series we're going to go through the expedition one phase at a time. Each video will focus on a single phase, covering every milestone, along with extra tips to make things go smoother. Now, I'll try to keep each episode focused on its own phase, but just so you know, this expedition has a lot of milestones that are easy to complete naturally while playing. So if we unlock objectives from other phases along the way, that's completely normal. Before we begin, let's quickly talk about how to start it. You have two options. You can either start a brand new save, or you can activate the expedition from an existing save. If you're starting from an existing save, you'll have to visit the space anomaly and interact with the expedition terminal. If you like a more detailed breakdown of that process, I've made a separate guide that walks you through this step by step. There's one important thing you should keep in mind with this expedition. It takes place entirely on one single planet, which means you won't have access to the anomaly during the expedition itself. Because of that, you won't be able to transfer items or technology into the expedition from your main save. However, once the expedition is complete, you will be able to transfer rewards back to your regular saves. My personal recommendation, especially during the first week, is to start a fresh save. Early on, there are a lot of patches and hotfixes, and in the past, existing saves have occasionally run into issues or corruption during that period. Since expedition rewards unlock account-wide anyway, starting fresh is often the safer option. And that is what we're going to be doing here. So let's create a new save and select expedition mode. This is a very basic expedition. Each of these phases are going to lead into the next step, and it is kind of a tutorial to understand how the waste facility works and how the coil gun works and all that. So if you're looking for like how does it work, then this is actually an ideal expedition to start with. Alright, here we go. Expedition 21 Remnant. Let's start with opening up the page, and we'll go to the expedition tab right here. And we're going to check. We have several ones of the expedition for phase 1. The first one we need to do is just investigate the processing facility, which is right in front of us. Then we will get the blueprint, which is going to allow us to install the Gravitino coil. Then we will need to test the Gravitino coil. After that, we will have to build the colossus. And then after that, we can use the colossus to transport and process the industrial waste, which then is going to allow us to go to the first waste heap. And then that is going to finalize this with transporting that to the last industrial waste. And that should be phase 1. It's a pretty easy, straightforward one, so let's begin. Oh, by the way, before we go into, what I also would advise you, if you go to your options, check your network and turn off your multiplayer. I know that it's nice to play with other people around, but it will also make it more harder for you to complete certain milestones. For example, unlocking the waypoints. That is also one of the missions you have to do in phase, I think it's phase, let me see. Here, chart waypoints. If you have your multiplayer enabled and people are running around, they might trigger the waypoints before you, which means that you cannot chart that waypoint anymore. So take a note that playing multiplayer off will be much easier. Anyway, let's jump back. We're going to do phase 1 and maybe by accident some other milestones from the phase. Right, so let's begin with interacting with this one right here. And let's, hello user Beeble, download the blueprint. Alright, so now to build this blueprint, we will need magnetic resonator, Gravitino balls, and chromatic metal. So what we will need to do, and let's trigger this one first. Let's unlock this. This is going to give us Cobalt, which we will need a little bit of anyway. Ion battery and life support shell, which is nice. Alright, so the next thing we're going to have to do, we want to have to install the Gravitino coil into our multi-tool. So we're just going to go into our multi-tool, we're going to install technology, and we're going to say Gravitino coil. Now, we don't have any of this. We need a Gravitino we need a Gravitino ball, we need chromatic metal, and we need 3 magnetic resonator. So the first thing this is going to let us do is going to ask us to actually make magnetized ferrite. Now for making magnetized ferrite, we will need pure ferrite or ferrite. That means we're going to have to mine some. Now this here is only, the 40 magnetized ferrite is only for one magnetic resonator, which means we need to mine for 3 of them. So if you go into our refinery, you will see we have a personal refinery. If I put pure ferrite or ferrite in here, it will refine it into pure ferrite, and then I take the pure ferrite in here and move it in here, and it will make magnetized ferrite. Now, pure ferrite and ferrite have the same ratio, so will just become the same. So 100 ferrite will become 100 pure ferrite, but make it magnetized ferrite, it will halve it. That means I will need 120 magnetized ferrite. That means we need 240 ferrite. So let's just try to see if we can mine some ferrite until we have 240 of them. I think the large rocks we won't be able to mine because they are pure ferrite, and we do not have an advanced mining laser, see? So I cannot mine them. So we're just going to keep mining these small rocks here until we have a whole bunch of ferrite dust. The geodes that I just unlocked as well, I will be able to analyze, and these might actually give me ferrite dust, pure ferrite, or magnetized ferrite, depending on what they unlock in the analyzing phase. So if I now analyze, you will see I just made some pure ferrite, and I made some more ferrite as well. So this should already be enough to make the magnetized ferrite. Let's just mine a tree. This one I cannot mine. Let's mine a tree or a cactus, because we will need carbon to activate our refinery or to fuel it. Alright, so let's go to our personal refinery. We're going to take the ferrite dust. We're going to drop it in here. We're going to put some carbon in here. Then we're just going to refine the ferrite dust into pure ferrite. Now let's just fill up the rest with the other pure ferrite here. That's 249. That will give us 124 magnetized ferrite. This is going to take 29 seconds. So in the meantime, what we're going to do, we're going to pick up one of those Gravitino balls. You can see right there, if you look for that marker, it says Gravitino ball. There's a whole bunch of them down there. We're going to grab one. Now in the phase, further down the phase, we actually need 32. So if you feel like doing that, you can do it straight away and already unlock a milestone from the next phase as well. If I'm going to grab this Gravitino ball, I'm going to trigger sentinels. So we're going to take one. You can see that sentinels have been activated. I'm not sure where they are going to be coming from. There they are. Okay, they are behind me. So let me just run a bit forward and let's get rid of those sentinels. They're going to be searching. It's going to take 30 seconds to get rid of them, so we don't need to bother too much. Is there a cave down here? Alright, let's go down this cave, because we need some cobalt as well. Because we won't have enough cobalt for the refining. Alright, let's go to our pure ferrite here. Let's take this and put it in here. Then we already have 200 cobalt, but we will be needing more. So I'm just going to start refining this already, while we are looking for more cobalt. So there was some. There's at least one here. But this one has gold. Oh my god. I need cobalt, not gold. Oh, we have some drones investigating. There we go. Alright, there are some down here in the cave. Alright, so these right here, we're just gonna refine these or mine these. These should give me cobalt and silver. And there are probably some on the ground as well there. These give me silver and silver. Interesting. Either way, let's mine these. We need cobalt. And the silver is going to be handy to have, because we can actually use them later on as well. So we got a whole bunch of cobalt, which I should be able to put in here and just continue refining. Let's move that in my exosuit and refine this further. Alright, so let's see. How many of these can we make? I can make 2. I need 20 more ionized cobalt. So let's move that in my exosuit and already place it in here. There we go. That should be enough to build my Gravitino coil. 1, 2, and I need some chromatic metal as well. I forgot about that. So let's see if I can find some emerald around here. So if I take my scanner, we should find, I mean, it's actually already marked. We got some 385, 800, 330. Let's go to that one there. Alright, let's switch to our terrain manipulator, and I'm gonna, you can see I can change the size of my orb. That is done by pressing the shoulder buttons on my controller. I'm not entirely sure which buttons you press. Okay, it's R and T. On the keyboard and mouse, it's gonna be T to enlarge it and R to make it smaller. We're gonna take the small beam and we're gonna just mine some of that emerald. Alright, let's take this emerald and drop it into our refinery again. Move the ionized cobalt over. And that is gonna make us a whole bunch of chromatic metal, which we will need as well to make the Gravitino coil. I'm just gonna take some more because I'm not entirely sure if I need more chromatic metal later on. Alright, that should allow us to make... not yet. I need to take it out of my exosuit. Let's put the rest in here as well, so you can make more. And then I should be able to finish my Gravitino coil. Done. Alright. So with that done, we can complete the milestone, which is going to give me some frost protection, thermal protection, and supreme defense upgrade. So let's go back to our inventory. We're going to go to our exosuit. We're going to have these 3 rewards right here. These 3 we can install. So one is going to give us heat protection. The other one is going to give us frost protection. And this one is going to give us a shield. So we're going to put the shield next to each other just so that one can support the other. In case you don't know, you can actually put the same style of modules next to each other just to boost its productivity. So for example, I can put my jetpack next to each other, and I'm also going to put it in a supercharged slot so my jetpack works a little better. And then I think I can put either life support. No, it's not life support. It's you as a protection. There we go. Next to that one. There we go. All right, we should be fine right now. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to test the Gravitino coil, and we need to search for industrial waste. So we can use our analyze visor and look for these green markers. We got 130 U weight, we got 135 U weight. And now we can just use the R to repel it. The R2 to repel it. There we go. Then we can use the L2 to pick it up. L1 to pick it up, I mean. Then drop it again. And then we can also repel it and pick it up and repel it. There we go. So that is now done. I like how the ship is landed down there. Very, very interesting. Where is the marker? Return to the waste processing facility. Alright, there it is. While we're here, I'm going to grab some of these pots, because this is going to give me some oxygen, which I'm going to need in a second. And then you can just mine the rest, so you can actually get some more oxygen from that plant as well. There we go. Let's pick some of these up as well, if I need some hazard protection. Cycle multi-tool mode with the Gravitino coil. Aim at industrial waste. So there are some right here. We're just gonna grab it up. And we can deposit in the waste processor. Oh wow, that was a great shot. Alright, that is done. We have now created a magnetic field. That means we've got another milestone done. And this is going to give us the colossus plants. And also the flatbed, so we can build a flatbed on the colossus. For that we will need metal plating and paraffinium. As you can see, we get 25 paraffinium. To make metal plating, we can make, I think, how much did we need again? I already forgot. 5. To make 5 metal plating, I don't think I have enough. I can make 1, so we need more ferrite dust. I think we're out of ferrite at all. Alright. Did this give me any scrap metal? It did not. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna grab these and I'm gonna shoot this in there. I wanna see if I get any scrap metal from this or not. I do. Alright. So let's just drop these in there. And then we're gonna put that in the refinery. That should give us some more rusted metal. There is some more waste down here. There we go. Did I get some more? I did. Let's drop it in here as well. Alright, I don't have enough, so we will have to go and get more ferrite dust. There we go, that's 5. The next thing we need is paraffinium. Now, this will give you, on the bottom you can see, you get a guideline on how to make paraffinium. And that's going to be by using pyrite and ferrite dust in combination. But we already picked up some silver, so we're going to put the silver in there, and we picked up some oxygen, and we're going to put some oxygen in there as well. So let's just put the oxygen with the silver, and that is going to make our paraffinium. We only need 25 paraffinium, so let me just start, and then when we have enough, we can stop it. I think it was 25 or 20. And then we can put the rest back into the exosuit. There we go. Alright, so with that done, we can now build ourselves a geobay. I'm going to place it right here. And then we're going to go to this display here, modification. We're going to go to the chassis, and we're going to take the flatbed module. And that's the one we need. As you can see, I already unlocked the other ones. Even all the cabins have been unlocked because I already finished the expedition before. You can also change the wheels if you want to give it a bit of a different look. Like that. You can give it a different paint color, depending on what you're looking for. There we go. And you can also just save it and store it as your flatbed rover. Flatbed truck. There we go. Alright. And that is done as well. We can now unlock this. And you can see I actually unlocked this in phase 2. Even if this was this one right here. So I already unlocked phase 2 while building the Alright, so just that you know, you will be switching your phases over from one to the other by doing one or the other. This is going to give me some Exocraft booster units and some engine upgrade as well, so let's install that. Let's keep this until we are going to phase 2, alright? So let's install the booster. And let's install the 2 engines as well. These are engine upgrades. As you can see, we got an engine right here. I'm going to move that one right here, and then we're going to place one that has the highest top speed into the supercharged slot, and the other one we're going to place here. That should be it. That should be it. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my building menu, and I'm going to remove this platform, because I want to be able to change the truck if needed along the way. And you also pick up the resources again that you used. Alright, let's jump in. The next thing we need to do is load the colossus with 3 items. So what we need to do what we need to do is just look for some green waste. There we go. Industrial waste, 105 view. Let's jump in. And let's go and collect it. Just gonna pick it up with our coil gun. We're just gonna drop it into the flatbed. I'm gonna take it all because why not? We even got some unique salvage as well, so let's take that. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Let's go back to our deposits. Be careful when you're driving because the items are loose. If you hit a bump or something that flips your truck a bit, you will lose your gear and you have to do it again. Now, if you want, you can go on the evaluation scale and you can just go to this one right here and say auto collect. But I don't want to do that for this one right here. So I'm going to take this industrial valve. I'm going to throw it. As you can see, it has the radioactive icon. We're going to throw it in there. Let me try this again. There we go. Because this is going to be too valuable. We have 3 of them. We can now go in here and just auto collect it. Request auto collect is possible if you want to do that. What you can do as well, you can just jump into your truck and you can double tap your horn. And that is also going to trigger the same thing. So we're going to get 30 nanites when auto collecting. If you're doing this manually, you will have approximately double of that. So it is always better to do it manually. There we go. Payment dispensed, and here we are done. And that is the next one done. This is going to give us a radar amplifier, which we will have to install. So let's take it and install it next to our other one here. And now we're going to use the shortcut menu or the quick menu by just opening the bottom here. Go to the Exocraft radar. And we're going to go to all the way to the right and scan for waste heap. That is going to trigger our waste heap, which is 5 minutes away. So I'll see you when I'm there. I don't want to get you guys to wait for me to drive 5 minutes to the other side. Alright, I have arrived. That's our first checkpoint. Let's trigger that one as well, which is going to give us some upgrades again. So let's install these. This is going to be better wheel suspension. And this is going to be another upgrade for my engine. There we go. Did we get anything else? I think that was it, no? Yeah. Then the last thing we need to do, we need to pick up 5 special waste and put it into our flatbed. And then bring it back to the waste disposal. As you can see, there's quite a lot of waste here. This is special waste, this is explosive. We have some radioactive right here. And this is toxic waste. This right here, what you can see here, this is just basic regular waste. We need to take 5 with us, but I would advise you to take as much as you can of it, because one of the missions anyway in the future is to get more of that waste anyway. So it is good to just drop it in there and just take as much of that waste as you can. By the way, you can also just stand on top of your truck and grab them from there. This is all regular waste. Yes. Alright, let's jump in. Alright, we currently have 18 aboard. Now, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, you can see that also there it says cargo aboard 18. So if your mission there doesn't like pops away or it disappears, you can keep an eye on how much cargo you have on board, 18. It is good to keep it an eye so that when you're driving, you can see if you lost some while you're driving. Again, everything is loose, so we're going to have to be careful while we're driving back to the waste disposal. Alright, that's going to be another 5 to 6 minutes drive back, so I will see you again when I'm there. So guys, as you can see, I just did another mission, which is one of the next phases. You will see that this one here, phase 2, already has again collect another one, kill roadkill, which I have no control over. There's so many creatures running around here that run under my wheels. So this is another one we're going to be locking for phase 2 and then the next episode. Alright, time to get rid of all our fancy waste. Let's see what we have. We got some toxic here. Let's just take that. We need to do only 4 more, as you can see here. Or 5 more, but we will throw in all of the rest as well. And we're just gonna throw that in the pit. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. Any more green? And 5. That should normally complete our road trip 1. And with that also complete our phase 1. This will give us assorted glitches. You can decide not to take this reward because that is going to fill up your inventory. But for the sake of this guide, I'm just going to keep this activated and just get everything. I will just take all the rewards. Then we have the final reward as well, phase 1. Be sure to take that one as well, so that you get the plans or some posters and such. And of course we also have the toot gesture, by the way. So you should now be able to go to your character and select the new emote. Toot toot. There we go, new emote unlocked as well. Alright, so this is the end of phase 1, as you can see right now. The next episode we're going to be looking into phase 2, which is going to be pretty easy to do because we already finished 2 of them before, but that's going to be for the next episode. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for you guys for the next episode, I'm just going to drop everything in here into the car containers as well, or in the collectors as well, and I'll see you in phase 2.